in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion.
Hello everyone and welcome to Poetry in Motion Sunday episode 5, and I'm Craig Lewis. Hope you've had a good week. I've had a really good productive week as per. I got to shoot the music video for my lead single for my forthcoming album. I was working with Sophisticated Media. A big shout out to Daniel Cunningham for the great job he did. For those who haven't seen the video yet, you can find it on my YouTube channel. It's called Rest Days Are Non-Existent. And yeah, check it out for those of you who like a bit of hip hop. Anyway, sticking with this theme, Poetry in Motion Sunday, I've written 3 poems that are story-based. I decided to do something different than per normal. So yeah, kicking it off with the first poem. This one's called Memory Lane. And those were the 2 words that prompted the poem. Like a flock of sheep led by their shepherd, her life choices were hip to the method. With the finesse of an expert, a leader was her role. A reader of the seat of soul, methinks she must have been, for she found the alignment of her soul from she was just a teen. Of her career path, she's reached the top to level with the cream. She formed a special team of energies that mirrored hers. A flip reverse of living curse, she's blessed in all her ways. Her parents were as proud as punch, they never stalled their praise. Even when they saw the grey and the cloudiest of days. The faith that they displayed would always ricochet and shift away the clouds as if the sea had grabbed them by force and made them drown. Her skin complexion displayed a brown like coffee with a tilt of milk. The lens she wears enabled her to never cry when it was spilt. Such experiences guilt she's never known. An adept speaker that would often pen a poem and send them home for her parents thrilled to read. She'd once so often feel the need to leave the gift in their account. For their years of love and care, she said she can't compare the amount. But the joy shared inside the house of her childhood warms her like the fire. The memories will not expire. Thus sometimes she would require a trip down memory lane. She kept a picture at her bedside, which when she held the memories came. So there you have it, that's memory lane. Sometimes, you know, you just gotta reminisce of those younger years. And just to put a smile on your face, you know. We all get days like that, don't we? And moving on to poem number 2. This one is called Early Hours of That Morn. And the 2 words that prompted this poem are early hours. Like large crowds increase the heart pound of the performer at the start, long before the process became a walk in the park. He claimed the same effect she had before the talking would start. It's like a Polaroid now was stalled in his heart. From the first glimpse, a picture print was produced and framed. That feeling when you've met your soulmate that you've just claimed. For words he never used to strain, but that night he caught his usual train back from work. Other seats were taken, so he sat beside this skirt, who for the journey of the train was a girl without a name. He'd fished for words that never came, thus his communication was his smile. The last time he felt such butterflies had been a while. The younger version of himself would have asked for her number to dial, but such acts of young were with the cat that had his tongue. But when the train had reached her stop and she got off, he felt so done, for the fact he didn't address the way she had him sprung. So he noted the location by reading the sign, and stole a glimpse at his watch to reveal the time. Then he looked upon the floor beside him, and what did he find? Her name and number scribbled down on a Tesco receipt. No better feeling for him could seal the end of his week. The widest grin on his cheeks She stood and watched him pick it up and kiss the receipt. Before the train would leave the platform, when he got home, he rang the number and would speak until the early hours of that morn. And there we have a sweet tale. You know, sometimes those sweet tales do actually happen. You know, you meet somebody, you don't know how you're going to address them and let them know that you think they're quite hot, but somehow, you know, it's set in destiny for you to get those festivities. And this was the receipt. So moving on, this one is called Inkling the Circumstance, and there's one word that prompted this poem, which is inkling. She held the phone tight, then tried to keep the tone polite. As she said, "I think I'd rather be alone tonight." In her head, the bulb of the light was flashing like a warning signal. The other half on the phone had been performing single actions in her absence. Like Michael going solo after the Jackson 5. Seems as though the passion died for the last of the 5 months prior to this, before she felt more high on his list, on a pedestal as high as a cliff, from showering her with gifts cute as a newborn. Now the showers have introduced to her a new storm. In her head, rumors are true until she's proved wrong. In her bed, she's lullabied by the words of a blues song. She's too gone deep in her feelings to resist crying a river, but wise enough to resist turning to the bottle to flood her liver. She removed the picture from the frame, sat on the unit of her bedside, of her and him, and like makeup removed the images of him on one knee with a ring, wishing that she was wrong about the inkling within, wishing that she was wrong about the inkling within. An inkling in such situation is hard, but if listened to like the radio can prevent one from scars. A voice of reason cushioned with the safety of airbags in cars during collision. But still it's purely decision, we're left a simple choice to make. An inkling can be overlooked to breed the simplest mistake. And though her relationship's not great, she's in two minds, to either fight for him or accept that it's too late. So yeah, that one, reflecting on the inkling. Sometimes you got to go with your instinct, sometimes you fight against it because the circumstance is too dear to you. Like the girl in this poem. So yeah, there we have it. Until next week, short and sweet. Take care.
Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday.